Hello everyone, my name is Sam Dooley, and in this video I will use the Equalize editor to create a basic quiz worksheet for elementary arithmetic and pre-algebra, which is appropriate for 5th grade students. First, I use a browser to access the Equalize editor website, lakepinesbraille.com/ee. I'm using Google Chrome, but you may use other browsers as well. With the input focus in the main input area, I start typing text. Quiz 1, then I hit Control-Alt-1 to create a heading Level 1 and press Enter. I type Grade 5, Control-Alt-2 to create a Level 2 heading, press Enter, and enter a second time to leave a blank line. Now some instructions for the quiz. Answer the following 5 questions. Press Enter, and another, and we have the introduction to a basic quiz worksheet. The Equalize editor creates the Braille as we go using contracted Unified English Braille, shown in the Braille panel below the input area, and on an attached electronic Braille display. Next, I create each of the 5 questions. For question 1, 1 period with a space creates the question number as plain text. Control M begins a math formula within a paragraph. And I type 2.5 plus 7.18 equals question mark to create the formula. The numbers and other symbols in the formula are in math mode, which uses Nemeth Braille to encode the math between Nemeth open and close Braille symbols. The question mark at the end is a special omission symbol, which you can create by typing question mark in math mode or using the omission symbol button on the omissions palette. When you open a palette, it stays open until you close it. Having finished question 1, I type Control M to close the formula, Enter to move to the next line, and Enter once more to leave a blank line between questions. For question 2, as before, I type 2 period space to create the question number and Control M to begin the formula. I create a simple fraction using the keyboard slash key or the fraction button from the fractions palette. So I type 3/4, right arrow, plus 1/2 equals question mark. The keyboard slash key creates a simple vertical fraction using the usual open and close fraction indicators in Braille. There are several alternatives for division and fraction symbols on the fractions palette. These forms include inline fractions, mixed fractions, and other division symbols. Some include open and closed fraction indicators, and some do not. Having finished question 2, I type Control M to close the formula, and Enter twice to leave a blank line before the next question. Question 3, 3 period space for the question number, and this time I type more text. How do you graph the point? I want to graph a point with particular coordinates, so now I'm going to put those coordinates in math mode by typing Control M to begin a formula, and so I can mix words and formulas as needed to create the question. Now I want to create an ordered pair, which I can do using the parenthesis key or the ordered pair button on the groups palette. When I press that button, I get a set of parentheses where I can type 5, 2. Close parentheses to exit the ordered pair. Control M to close the formula. Then a question mark in text mode to put the question mark as punctuation after the math formula. Notice that the Braille question mark appears after the Nemeth terminator. I type Enter twice to move to the next question. Period creates the question number for question number 4, and Control M begins the formula. And I now type 3 caret 2. That is 3 followed by the symbol above the 6 on the computer keyboard, which I type with Shift 6, to create an exponent. And now I need to return to the baseline. In Braille, I could simply type .5, but lacking a .5 on a computer keyboard, I use close parenthesis to move to the next larger expression, or right arrow to move to the next insertion position to achieve the same effect. So after returning to the baseline, I type plus 4, up caret 2, right arrow, equal sign, question mark to complete the question. I type Control M to close the formula and enter twice to move to the next question. Question 5. Control M to begin the formula, and now I use the square root button on the quick bar to create a square root. I could also type the letters SQRT, after which I type 81 to supply the radicand. And now I need to terminate the square root. In Braille, I could type the termination indicator, but again, lacking such a symbol on the computer keyboard, I can again use close parenthesis or right arrow, this time to terminate the square root. I type equal sign, question mark to complete the question. Now I type Control M to close the formula and enter twice to leave a space after the final question. Finally, to save the worksheet, I use File, Save to open a dialog where I can select a local folder and a file name to use to save the file. I'm going to call this file Quiz 1 Teacher. And when I have the file name and the folder where I want to save it, I press the Save button to save the file. The file becomes labeled as Quiz 1 Teacher, and I can check that the file has been saved as intended by using File Open and making sure that the file is where I intended it to be put. And so we have a basic quiz worksheet with 5 questions that can be shared with a Braille student. I can view the quiz in Braille, or I can view the quiz visually. In the next video, I will use the Equalize editor to show how a Braille student can answer the questions in the worksheet and return it to the teacher. For more information about the Equalize editor, please visit the Lake Pines Braille website at lakepinesbraille.com.